Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me, Lasagna Monique, for a new way. So, I'm going to talk about a few coping skills that have worked for me, and here we go. I may refer to my notes, so I may glance down, but life is hard, right? It's very challenging. So some people call this Earth School, or this the universe is the university, right? And so what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that is true. That is so true. We go into hiding for a long period of time and then try to reemerge, and you're going to have to level up really quick, right? So it's better to, stay the course, pace yourself, and make sure you find a good support system and definitely support yourself in all ways. Love yourself, self love and self care. Be your own cheerleader. These are new coping skills that I'm learning. So, the first thing I tell people is like life is hard for everybody. Like, if you think they have it easy because they were born rich, the rich have their own struggles to go through. Just listen to some of these confessionals, listen to some of these interviews and panels, read some books, and you will see that they have a different level of difficulty that kind of makes our life seem like heaven sometimes. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And a lot of us, myself included, we think that money will solve all our problems, but like Diddy said, more money, more problems. And you can see as, high profile people are being exposed just how many problems they have. And the average person, myself included, wouldn't be able to handle that. And I'm glad. So I'm glad I'm learning this now so that when I do move into prosperity, may we all move into that prosperity the right way, swiftly and quickly, and be able to maintain that. And, if you feel so inclined as myself, share the wealth with all so we can all live in abundance. We're really starting to, understand or look deeper into why we feel we need the things we need and how we respond. I'm learning to, act instead of react. So I putting my emotions on the back burner, learning breathing and meditation, eating clean, getting into nature, all the basic things. I'm retraining myself to do these things, and it is working. And the first coping skill is eating proper, eating more healthy, fresh foods, less processed foods. I'm not saying you got to cut it out. I'm just saying, we really got to balance that. And so 5-2 diet came across that. I like that idea because you eat healthy or eat clean 5 days a week, but then 2 days a week, you can eat whatever you want in moderation, right? And then eating for health and not eating for pleasure. That's going to be key too. And especially me, coming from a traumatic, childhood, being an emotional eater, food was my go-to to make me feel good, you know. And I realized that anything, if you need anything outside of yourself to make you feel good or inspire you to do anything, it controls you. It becomes an addiction. It becomes a crutch. It becomes, the Buddhism talks about the clutching and the clinging, the attachment. And, because life is ephemeral, life is temporary here, at least, spiritually, we're eternal, but right here, as spiritual beings living a human existence, there's a time limit, and we have to let things go. We do that anyway. Why? Like, you don't. Most people don't have the same best friend from kindergarten that they have. They might. They might not. Some people may be childhood sweethearts. They're no longer together. Some are married and still married. Kudos to you. But most aren't. So we're already seeing the ebb and flow of life. Like, your family dog is not alive right now if you are, at least 25 years old. You might be on your third family pet by now, and life is already showing us, just like the leaves. If you live somewhere where there's four seasons, even if you don't, about the four seasons, you know the leaves fall, they're gone in winter, and they come back in spring. So we already know this. I mean, the ocean waves, anyone, and so we kind of overlook these things. We know these things, but we overlook them, myself included. And I'm like, I'm really starting to pay attention to the patterns that nature has presented to us, and we have to follow those natural laws, universal laws. It's really that simple because it'll make our lives easier. And that way we can kind of predict things and we can negate and we can have a heads up, you know? And part of that is knowing life is hard, but the good thing is we have each other. You have yourself, and we can support each other. We can educate ourselves. We can educate each other. We can look out for ourselves. We can look out for each other. And with that, even with family, people, are born and then they die, they live on, elsewhere, but not here. And, it's hard. It's lonely. Even when you break up, you lose a job, you have to move, you leave your friends, leave your country, but we can always start anew. So, a couple of things I'm saying here is Earth is a school. We learn, and you keep learning and you keep growing and you become stronger and you become more capable, and then you can create a better life for yourself because you got that wisdom. You don't have to repeat said things. You have a heads up. You start seeing the patterns, behaviors within yourself, especially, and with others. And so when you see someone who, like, acting kind of shady, you remind me of someone, so I forgive them, but I already know where this is going. And you cool and all, but, it was nice to meet you, and I'm going to keep it moving, right? And you have an intuition, and you start noticing these patterns like, I've been here before. Or it could be a good thing, like, oh yeah, you know what, this reminds me of so and so. You know what, I'm gonna take this chance. It could be a positive thing too. So see Earth as a school, university, and you're here to learn, grow, ask questions, and you can make mistakes. One thing with me, who is, I'm not saying I was a perfectionist, but I like being on point. I don't like being messy. And so, but as much as I try, sometimes to get messy, and that's okay. And I had to learn that. We have a lot of guilt and shame. We lie. We hold things in. And because we are being challenged and it's uncomfortable. That's the Four Noble Truths right there, Eightfold Path. Like the Buddhism talks about the reason for suffering is because life changes and we are reticent to change. So we have to, the more we get used to change and we get flexible and also we accept things and forgive and let things go, we'll be a lot better. We'll be a lot happier. Because the key is, there's one technique I created called the new now. Whatever happened in the past, you can't change it. You can learn from it, but you can't change it. But we can create a new now, a new moment. So I lost that job. So I lost, that person, place, or thing, that relationship, whatever. Is sad. I'm going to mourn. I'm going to be upset. I may cry. I may complain. But then I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to go within. I'm going to problem solve. And I said, you know what? I'm going to clean myself up, straighten my shoulders, and I'm going to start anew. Because every day we have an opportunity to start anew. We don't have to bring that baggage in. We don't have to bring the past. We don't have to bring up, oh, so-and-so hurt me. And it's valid. Your feelings are valid. That's not what I'm saying. It was a moment. And in the future, there is no past. So if you want a happy future, you can't bring the past with you. And I really had to learn it. So my technique, whenever I feel some kind of way, or I'm disappointed, or I feel like I should be making headway, but it's taking too long to get that payday, I'm like, you know what, that's okay. Be patient and let's focus on something else. Or let's create a new now. Or let's draw, let's paint, let's breathe, let's go for a walk. It's okay. It didn't work out. You're not a bad person. They're not a bad person. Or maybe you were, apologize. Maybe they were. Hopefully you can ask them for apologies. And if you don't get it, okay, well, I forgive you anyway, because I'm going to create a new now. And I'm going to give you a makeover. And I'm going to, start anew. And so that is one technique. Another technique, let me look at my notes, is when you embarrass yourself, when you make a mistake. I call it checking it off my spiritual bucket list, right? Or your human bucket list, or to-do list. Or school, you got a curriculum, right? So you're going to have to complete the course if you want to graduate. And everybody plays the fool sometimes, no exception to the rule, okay? See the songs, it's an oldie but a goodie. And it's so true. Everybody, no matter how polished you think you are, or how talented, or how successful, rich, successful, fit, beautiful, gorgeous, connected, you're going to have messy moments. You're going to have mistakes. And maybe sometimes they're not messy, they're just mistakes. Honest mistakes, intentional mistakes, surprise mistakes. And you take a deep breath, you adjust yourself accordingly, get the support if you need it, get some therapy, talk about it, so forget it off your chest, cry, yell, scream, whatever you got to do, but you recenter yourself and you say, that's okay. That's just part of the course. And the good thing is, once you do check it off your spiritual bucket list, you don't have to repeat it again. You don't. But it might take you a couple of times depending on what it is, and that's okay too. And that just means you need some extra support or some education. So you get that and you put it in practice. That's another thing. These skills, we have to put it in practice. And you create a new now and you focus on that. Focus on the good. Focus on what you like, not what you don't like. And we have a really bad, tendency to focus on the negative. But, it's thrown in our face all the time. This programming, that's another topic. But it does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of belief in yourself, and we can do it. So for me, when I feel embarrassed or I put my foot in my mouth and I gotta pick my face up off the floor, dust it off, wash it off, shine it up again, I say, we can create a new now. So I lost an opportunity. So I lost a friend. So, I didn't win that round. I'm gonna let it go and I'm gonna start anew. Or maybe I just need to work on myself so I can win the next round. But it's really not winning, it's about improving yourself. So another thing that helped me was how to deal with people a little bit better. You don't necessarily vibe with people that kind of rub you the wrong way, and not the way Johnny Gill could, rub you. So, but and that's not a sexual thing. That's a song. Look it up. I jam to that song. Anyway, thank you, Johnny. Thank you, New Edition. So with that being said, graduating seniors and incoming freshmen. So when you try to explain something to somebody, and usually not so much strangers, but sometimes strangers. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water real quick. I was trying to do that without taking a drink. So, but these lights are hot. I need me a fan. But let me move on. So when you're dealing with, I'll say, I don't want to say negative, because we need positive and negative, energy to live. Just like a battery. Battery don't work without that plus and minus, right? Okay. And so plus and minus, positive, negative, negative feminine, positive masculine, electricity, magnetism. I mean, come on. I'm learning. So should you. Body Water Jokes 101. So when you're dealing with an unreasonable person and you're trying to alert them to something, you're trying to correct them, or you're trying to impart, what you have to say, and they're not getting it, or they don't want to get it, and they're being unruly, and just, I say graduating seniors, incoming freshmen. Because sometimes you can try to reword it and they'll get it. You can ask questions, to clarify, because maybe you're wrong. But when you see they're not getting it, either because they really just don't have the mental capacity, or they're not aware, or they just don't want to get it, you got to leave it alone. You're a graduating senior. They're incoming freshmen. And I want to represent, I know people don't like the word woke, but people who have become aware and they're conscious and they're really working on themselves, they're trying to change their life, and also they're going a step further and trying to help others change their life as well. Can't, change people, they have to change themselves, right? And even just having regular conversations that things are obvious, like the sky, for instance. Let me get a little comfortable here. So I've been watching the sky for years. and I've been steadily seeing the ceiling get lower and lower and lower. And it reminds me of the famous Chicken Little story. He was telling the sky is falling, and they didn't believe, oh, you're a liar. All these years later, he was right. Never judge a book. So, so now then on top of that, the ceiling totally, the atmosphere totally fell. And so, we have arts and crafts in the sky now. I'll say that. And, arts and crafts, y'all know where I'm going with this. They just do all kinds of shapes and crisscross and geometry. I'm trying to get my sunlight. And on certain days when they do their little arts and crafts, I'm kind of sleepy. And I got to go indoors so I can stay awake and do some work. And if you don't know, I'm talking about, see me on, my other channel, SOS, Soliloquy of Soul, for a kind of esoteric, spiritual kind of journey that I, may or may not share. So I'll keep you posted. Maybe. Anyway, so I'm literally talking to relatives who are way older than me, and you've seen the sky before all this happened. I remember the sky before all this happened. I remember the sky being a different shade, a way different shade of blue. I remember the sun being yellow all day, whether it was sunrise, sunset. And now it's white. Now there are more than one sun. I've been seeing more than one sun and more than one moon. That's just me, but it's not me. It's tons of, lots of people. So I'm having this conversation, just out of curiosity, I'm like, have you, look up there, look at that. Have you seen that? What? Okay. And, have you heard about chemtrails? Oh no, that's, just, the military, putting a smoke screen to keep, foreigners at bay, because, certain countries are, popping off. I won't name names. Oh, that's just, they're seeding, the crops, arts and crafts, crazy zigzag playing Connect Four in the sky. Looking like broken crosses and broken pentagrams. We want to just... And then certain clouds are just dark, and then some are gray, and then some are white, and the white ones are just moving with the wind, but the dark gray ones are just there. They don't move. And then... I'm sorry, I'm bugging y'all. And then you look at the sky, and the clouds are blowing this way, and some are going that way at the same time. Then you see, as I could go on and on and on. If you don't know, Google it. People got videos up there. Now you got to be careful now because of the AI and Photoshop and augmented reality and de-augmented reality, and a lot of regular people have access to this, and so they really taking stuff and making some sci-fi for real, especially the text to AI pictures, making it look like historical finds. We found this, an ancient dig with a spaceship, but it's not. It's AI art, but people were passing it off. People look like they're picking. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. And so be careful. That's what I'm saying. Be careful. Make sure you watch them dates. Anything I would say prior to 2001, you should be good. That's what I'm saying. That's just my opinion. No judgment. No judgment. But anyway, so I'm just saying, when you try to talk common sense logic and reason, when you try to problem solve and you try to help people because you see they're hurting, and especially, like I said, mostly people around you, and they're just not getting it, it's not their turn. It's okay. It's okay. You just, do you, and, plant seed. The seed has been planted, and when they're ready to graduate, excuse me, they will. Leave it alone. Don't convince them. Don't continue to warn them. Don't get frustrated. And I know it's harder when, it's a spouse and your children. There's been a lot of upheaval in marriages, and so love and light and healing to everyone. There are solutions, and especially even the young people who, they're teenagers and they have to live at home. And they got like a slew of years left before they can leave, and so it's very frustrating. And so what I would do is, have your solo season, do your best and take care of yourself, educate yourself, and prepare, help your family as much as you can. Like, luckily I was able to, just start with the eating. If you eat better, and they see your improvement, they're going to want to ask, what did you do? Um, Offer to cook. If you start with the food, eating cleaner, they're going to feel better, and they're going to think better, and they're going to start, be more open and receptive to some type of change. So start with the dietary change. Start with, let's not watch a horror movie. Let's watch a comedy. Let's go out. Let's just go for a walk. Little things like that. If you're in a relationship that you cannot leave, that you have to stay, or that you want to stay. And if for some reason, if that doesn't work, go into self-study, self-improvement. Make your plans so that when it's time for you to exit stage center, okay, because we want to be centered and balanced, you are good to go and you leveled up, because your patience has been probably almost mastered. I'm still working on mine, and that's what working, especially with loved ones, family, because, you don't want to abandon your family. You don't leave, but some of us have to, and so if you're called to do that for your own safety and your own sanity, peace of mind, do so, but always make sure you send them some love and support. And if it is a dangerous situation, cut it off completely. I totally understand that. So I just want to put that out there. Be safe. But if it's not a really bad situation, it's frustrating because it's like, don't you see? Like, don't you see? Like, graduating seniors, congratulations. Turn it, toss the cap, take off the gown, whoop, 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 live it up, and enjoy your journey. It's going to be ups and downs, and find support. There are plenty of support groups online. There's probably some, locally. Get back into the arts. Like I said, everybody has an inner artist. Get the arts. Play. Go out, learn something new, try something different, and really just focus on yourself. Yes, you're going to be there for your family, but not to your detriment. Okay. And so those are my coping skills. So to recap, if I embarrass myself and mess up, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna create a new now. If I get rejected, that's okay. That means it wasn't for me, or that the season was over. Because remember, I said before in I think it's another clip, I said people come into your life for a time, a season, and a duration. It's up to you to know the difference and you to adjust accordingly. Ebb and flow. Nothing here in the physical plane is going to last forever. And some may last a long time, but we don't right now until we get it all together, and we're evolving and we're learning, and I believe in humanity, we will. So if you messed up, you feel embarrassed, it's okay, laugh it off, correct yourself, improve yourself, or let it go, create a new now, do something different, right? Leave it in the past, because in the future, there is no past, and you're good to go. If you're having difficulty with people, graduating seniors, incoming freshmen, congratulations. Walk that walk, toss that cap, and have a blast in your new journey. Find like-minded people, right? And remember, life is tough. it's tough for everybody, or it's school. What doesn't kill you make you stronger. And I really don't like that phrase, but think about it. Change comes with contrast, conflict. Like in order to refine, if you want to be a diamond, that coal has to be crushed. I remember one time, and when I used to go to church, uh, the pastor there said, it takes 12 steps. I think it takes 12 steps to refine wine, 14 steps to refine gold. And I really thought about that. I'm like, wow. Like we look at, so many people who are accomplished, and we don't realize the journey it took for them to get there. And there's no such thing as overnight sensation, overnight success. No such thing. There's an appearance of it, right? But there really isn't, because when you listen to interviews and you read books of these amazing people who have achieved, great things, they went through a lot to get there. Even just survivors, even, people who survived horrific things and lived to tell and write a book about it and share their story with others, they're really not famous, other than the story that they shared. But you know their prize is life. They made it, and they're stronger and wiser, and you can enjoy a good life because you're learning these skills and you're letting things go. And like I said, create a new now, because whatever you lose you can get. So another thing, I was going to end here, but here's another thing. We grew up with all these popular sayings that I think we need to really either get rid of and create new ones, or if we want to keep them, really put it in practice. Like rejection. So, you like someone, they don't like you. And we're going to get mad, at them, hurt them. No, we don't need to do that. Why? Because there's plenty of fish in the sea. Or we're rejected. We feel bad that we're not good enough. No, don't be depressed. No, there's plenty of fish in the sea. So why? So we say this and we know what it means, but we don't go fishing. You don't go back. You don't fish it. Oh, it costs too much money. No. It doesn't take much to date. Go to a park. Just go for a walk around the block. Go to a museum. And again, every local newspaper has a local community calendar with free events. Libraries got free classes, free movies. There's the community has free events, free or low cost paid events. Okay, I've never seen anything over like $25. Usually like $5 here, $6 here, $10 here. If you want to take a dance class or something, it's like $10 like a class. Something, those are things that I was interested in. But there's sports, there's festivals, there's so many things. And just take a walk. It's better to get to know each other. Eating is intimate. I don't just eat with anybody. If it's a business situation, that's different. But, even then, I'm going to have a couple conversations before, like we do the dinner or lunch thing. But eating is very intimate. And, nothing wrong with it if you want to do it on a first date, but it don't have to be a 5-star restaurant either. And I don't think it should be Burger King or McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe you make a picnic, or maybe you do go to McDonald's and y'all go through the drive-thru, but y'all go to the park. Sit, chat, beautiful nature, nice sunny day, nice breeze, or if it's winter, I don't know, go to, I don't know, hotel lobby, order something to drink, go to a Starbucks cafe, and just or I'll say a cafe, that has to be Starbucks, it could be Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, come on, everybody can do Dunkin' Donuts, right? Sit right there, have a conversation, A lot of the, cafes and stuff are kind of, well, depending on where you live, are kind of empty anyway. Like, there you go. You practically got the place to yourself. And then you walk around, walk that food off. You need to, Well, you don't need to. That's just my opinion. And, and you have a good conversation, And that way you're going to know, whether you want to continue to invest in a relationship or not. But the point is, rejection is, in my opinion, like nature's process of elimination. Is protection. If it wasn't meant for you, why waste your time? And then again, There's plenty of fish in the sea. Go fishing. You don't need to get mad. You don't need to cuss people out. You don't say F you. Then, you don't need to hurt somebody. You don't need to feel bad about yourself. That you don't need to think that you're not worth it. It's not either the right time, the right season for you, or the right person. Okay? So let me look at this one more again. And yeah, that's it. So these are some coping skills that work for me. Share, what work for you, because I'm always willing to learn. And thanks again for tuning in. If you'd like to support, please do so. Comment, subscribe, share, and wherever you are, as always, be wise and be well and be wise, and have a great new now. Thank you.